Hey guys, it's Matt here from Henry Shine, just doing a quick video today. As we're in the year 2020, we're coming around to ADX. Already over a quarter of dentists in Australia have purchased an intraoral scanner. I figure it's time now to do a bit of a video so you can all see some things that you need to be thinking about before you, are purchasing one of the intraoral scanners that are out there. So most of the time when people that I'm talking to are looking at getting into oral scanner, one of the main things that they bring up is price. So, that scan is too dear. So I understand that. We all obviously take a hit to the pocket when we purchase a large asset like something like this. So this is where it's important to understand that there's several different philosophies when it comes to intraoral scanning and the software that goes along with it. So for your basic scanner, it's essentially scan and send away, where you're just looking to replace impression material. That's a large asset to replace impression material, I'm not going to lie. So you might save a few dollars on every single impression, and you might do, depending on your average practice, 2 to 5 impressions a week. So that's a large outlay just to replace that. So where I think intraoral scanners should be placed is similar to your dental practice software. So like when you're looking at something like Exact. So why are you buying Exact? You're buying Exact to improve your patients coming in more. So you're trying to generate more
business and generate more money for your business. So that's why you buy
Exact. Like, why would you buy a really comfortable Planmeca chair? Well, you're buying that so that the patients can sit in it and then want to come back because they realize how much nicer your practice is than other practices that they may have been to. So everything that you do about your practice ultimately should be to try and improve the amount of money that you're taking in. So the intraoral scanner should be no different. So when it comes to return on investment, there's 2 different ways that you can look at a return on investment. Obviously, one way is doing everything in-house. Now that's not for everyone, but obviously doing your own in-house crowns, like something like that, where you're milling it out, or your own in-house splints, where so within 5 to 10 minutes you can design a crown. Within 5 to 10 minutes you can design a splint, print it out, or likewise surgical guides. So all of these kind of workflows are going to get you a really good return on investment. Now you're going to have to buy a scanner and a 3D printer, or a scanner and a mill. Now those things obviously come at a higher cost, although 3D printers aren't too expensive these days. They're kind of starting at about 8, going up to, depending on what package you buy, most probably about 20. So, but that's one way that you can generate more income. If you do this in-house, you're going to be saving, $200 to $300 a splint. You're going to be saving $200 to $300 a surgical guide, or likewise a crown. So those ways obviously are ways to, generate more income. Obviously there's little bits of outlay in labor that you're going to have to do that, but that's one way. The other way is using the software that comes with the scanner. So the good thing about 3Shape, Planmeca and iTero, the 3 scanners that we sell, all of them are based about getting a better return on investment. So it's not just about scan and send. So you get a regular Trios 3. So this is a Trios 4 wireless, but if you were to get a Trios 3 and get Smile Design, treatment simulator, and patient monitoring, patient specific motion, so those 4 applications within that software are what's going to generate you money. So when you show the patient what they're going to look like with the new smile, so if I were just to if I were to go into a Smile Design and open this up, let's go into the Smile Design. So if you were to show the patient this particular treatment, this is what's going to, create a better chance of them accepting the case and going ahead with treatment. So this is the kind of things that you're going to make money on, and it should be seen as a way to make money, not just as a way to replace impressions. So you can see once we come into here, the Smile Design, and we go through, within a few minutes, you can generate a before and after style photo. So that takes 5 minutes to do. and that's going to be a better chance of the patient going ahead with treatment. You only need to get a handful of these over the line a year, either that or patient monitoring. So what patient monitoring does is it basically it will show the patient if their teeth have worn, if their teeth have moved, if they've got any gingival recession. So all of those things you can show the patient using that software. So you can see if you were to get an extra 2 to 3 6-unit veneer cases over the line a year, this scan is going to pay for itself pretty quickly. If you do a scan on a patient every single time, and you can show that patient how much their teeth have worn, and they need to get a splint, and you get 3 to 4 splints over the line a year by you scanning them every single time they come in, then that's going to pay for the scanner faster. So likewise, you can explain things to the patients easier. So if I were to hit tooth comparison, I'll just bring that up a little bit, and we'll just do the upper. Now I'll show this upper one because I've got a chip. This is my own mouth. So I've got a chip, so that's going to show up or anywhere in the patient's mouth, or if you were to go total scan comparison, and if I were to have any, any wear and grinding or teeth movement, it's going to show up in a color the patient can't argue with it. So this is why it's really important that when you are looking at scanners, don't just think about what's the cheapest scanner. Think about how you can get a better return on investment and what you want to make out of that scanner. So that's one thing that I'd definitely say that more people should consider when buying an intraoral scanner. And as I said, it's no different to your patient monitor, your say software like Software of Excellence or Exact, or having a Planmeca chair or a Merida cone beam. You want that good quality image, so you can generate more income by doing those particular things. So another thing as well that's important when you are looking at getting an intraoral scanner is patient, not only getting the return on investment, but patient satisfaction. So if I were to have an intraoral scanner like this, and if I do a fast scan and I'm doing it in 30 seconds to a minute, the patient's not having their mouth open for very long. So some of the cheaper scanners, they might scan, they may not be as accurate as this, and I will say some of them are only good for say 1 to 3 unit case and not particularly good for a full unit, a full arch case. So this splint here was scanned on a Trios and designed in their splint studio, and you can see the fit from my mouth earlier, it was perfect. Some of the cheaper scanners are not particularly accurate over a full arch. So that's definitely a factor there that you need to consider. But when it comes to that patient satisfaction, so you're buying it also to improve your patient's experience at your practice. But you're not going to have a good, happy patient if their mouth is open for 20 minutes like that as you're scanning away and their jaw's getting really sore. So that's where having a fast scanner like this, or the Emerald S, or the iTero, that's where those scanners really come into their own because they're so fast. I can scan my mouth in 30 seconds on a lower, 30 seconds on an upper, and a bite within 5 seconds. Now that's a good scan, but if I have a tricky scan, even the trickiest case that I could do for me, I'll take up to 5 minutes on an arch, right? If it's a really tricky subgingival, or not subgingival, but let's say if they've got gingival recession, they've got a lot of teeth missing, no different to when you're having to take an impression and they've got gingival recession and let's say they're missing a 5 and their 4 and 6 are touching. Whenever you're pulling that impression material out, the material's going to rip in between those teeth. So this is where when you go intraoral scanning, you're not going to get that, but it takes extra time to scan in approximately. So the best scanner in the world, if it's taking 5 minutes to scan a really tricky case, you imagine a cheaper scanner and you're scanning for 15 minutes, patients don't enjoy that. They'll be like, you know what, throw the impression material back in my mouth. My jaw's getting really sore. So that's a factor that you really need to consider as well when you're going digital. Get a scanner that the patients are going to be happy and not get upset about it. Because I've seen, even when people are learning with this, and they're practicing and they've asked me to come out for a demo and they're scanning a patient for 5 to 10 minutes and they're not understanding and they're not going through the, maybe you scan for 2 minutes, get the patient to rest and relax, swallow, and then go back in again. Like they want to stay in the mouth the whole time and the patient's jaw's getting really sore. So in the learning experience, it's also about us teaching you, what to look for, scan strategy and whatnot. So, but essentially that's my main gist of intraoral scanning. I think that whenever you're wanting to obviously move towards that next step, which more and more Australians are, I think 50% of practices in Australia are saying they're going to purchase an intraoral scanner in the next 3 years, with over 25% already doing it. So it's going to be a large growth field over the next few years. So if you are interested, reach out to your territory manager, whatever state you're in, obviously, and then they can contact one of the KCAM specialists. So I'm obviously up in Queensland, and then we've got Henry down New South Wales. We've got Lawrence in Victoria and he covers Tasmania as well, and Sean covers South Australia and WA. So if you want to reach out to any of the KCAM specialists, ask your territory manager, hit them up and say, look, can I get a demo? I wanted to see what it's like scanning a patient in the mouth. So we can organise all that kind of stuff, or we can organise obviously just going out and scanning a model, or you getting to scan us so you can see the experience of it, which is most probably a little bit less pressured way to have a look at the intraoral scanners. And then, as I said, out of all the scanners, return on investment is key, and within Henry Schein, that's what we want you to obviously succeed with, is getting a better return on investment, which is why we offer the products that we do. So all good, guys. Hope you enjoy my video and enjoy the day, and hopefully I'll see you all down at ADX when it's on in another month's time or so. So take care, bye.